Now you need to beware the flaky facade. This is what happens when there isn't a seamless and consistent application of your brand across every point of contact. It's an exciting time when people like your brand, they like what you're doing, and they want to do business with you. So a lot of founders jump in headfirst at every opportunity, which is great, but it can also cause some problems. When your brand starts to grow and become popular, it will expand in different ways across different media. So for example, you'll be asked to do talks, features, trade shows, online events. You'll expand into different regions and markets, categories even. You'll be offered co-branding and partnership opportunities as well. All of a sudden, you'll need to create a whole bunch of content, articles, features. You'll need photo shoots, press releases, presentations, invitations, merch, event signage, clothing, badging, product extensions, pack shots, landing pages, point of sale, marketing funnels, podcasts, adverts, email campaigns, YouTube videos, to name a few. You'll need to start applying your brand to a myriad of different things, and you need to be ready for it. If you've clarified your brand in the strategy phase, then all this stuff is a doddle. You'll know where your brand is going and exactly how it needs to be applied consistently across different channels. If you haven't, then things are about to get very stressful and very costly. What tends to happen is you'll be inundated and overwhelmed. You won't have the time or capacity to do it yourself, so you'll have no choice but to let others loose on your brand. Now, these others will be well-meaning individuals. They could be helpful members of your team, a designer, or a design or marketing agency, or they could be free. The thing is, they won't know the direction of your brand. They won't know the roadmap, the rules, the limitations, or the aspirations. They won't know how to get the best out of what you've created. They won't be able to think in terms of the big story of your brand or the lasting legacy that you want to leave. They just won't get it, and it's not their fault. Customers relate to brands in a similar way they do people or groups that they've established an emotional connection with. So when your brand becomes inconsistent, or flaky as I like to call it, it creates an uneven personality for your brand, which makes it hard to establish the affinity that leads to long-term trust. When a business delivers the same branding from one touch point to the next, the entity starts to feel like a friend that your customer trusts and understands. On the other hand, when your facade is flaky and your logo, color scheme, voice and typography differ across all these different platforms, your brand pulls in different directions. And this undermines your credibility, and ultimately your brand equity starts to disappear. And this type of problem has to be fixed at some point. Often founding teams are busy with the day-to-day, so they put it off to be fixed further down the line after the damage has been done. Damage that left too long would have spread across the brand like wildfire. And this is where it gets expensive. I've seen chaos ensue in these situations. It costs a lot of money to fix. Sometimes it's unfixable, and this is where people fall out and brands fall apart. You can learn more about building an irresistible brand by listening to my Art and Communication podcast. You'll find it on iTunes, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to see how your brand shapes up, check out my Irresistible Brand Scorecard. It takes a few minutes to complete and you'll get a 12-page tailored report with tips on how to improve your brand. It's completely free, so simply visit irresistible-brand.scoreapp.com.